I have a confession to make. I have failed my test. I am sorry. You're probably asking yourselves, yo, big bro, what test did you just fail? Well, my answer to you all is I have failed to challenge myself to watch season 1 and season 2 of Invincible. Now, I know you guys have all your pitchforks ready. I know you guys are ready to storm my house and to arrest me for being a fraud, but please hear me out. Like I explained in my video where I reviewed the Invincible season 3 trailer, I read the entire Invincible catalog front to back, so I think I do have a say in reviewing Invincible. I think I do know what I'm talking about, and I know if this show is going to be accurate to the source material. And man, season 3 so far,
finger licking good special. That's what I'm talking about.
I've watched the first 3 episodes of season 3. Season 3 is very comic book accurate to a T. Now, I know that the entirety of the Invincible TV series has some comic inaccuracies, you know. I know that this show is not entirely, completely 100% accurate, but man, when they implement scenes from the comics and they now replicate these scenes onto the TV screen, man, they do a great job at it. They do these scenes justice, in my honest opinion, and this trend is continuing in season 3 because this season is so great so far. This season is peak. I know a lot of people were complaining about the Invincible animation and all of that and how some of their animation scenes look choppy, but I don't really care about that, in my honest opinion. Like, if you can tell me a great story and the animation is a little bit iffy, I do not really give a damn about the animation being iffy if the story is great, if the story is 10 out of 10, if the story is having me fighting demons, if the story is having me shadow boxing demons in my living room while I'm watching the show, then I do believe that the animation can take a backseat for a little bit. But season 3 so far, the first 3 episodes are so comic accurate, man, because if you know the Invincible comics, you know exactly where the first episode starts, and we see these time bandits come back from the future to the past in order to steal the Declaration of Independence. And these time bandits, they are Fightmaster and Dropkick, but when they are trying to steal the Declaration of Independence, they are stopped by Invincible and Rexplode. And man, this entire scene was ripped straight from the comics because Invincible, he is trying to hold back against these people. Invincible is not trying to hurt them because he is noticing that they are weak, and Rexplode and Invincible, they are basically treating these two people as afterthoughts. They don't really think that they are much of a threat, so they are actually talking with each other, discussing about Invincible's relationship with Adam Eve. And Rexplode, he's trying to give Invincible advice so that he can make the first move, so that he can finally tie the knot with Adam Eve. But this little mini fight is now cut short because we see the introduction of Multipal, and Multipal is out for revenge. Multipal, he is out for blood, and he wants to hurt Rexplode because he believes that Rexplode is the reason why Duplicate is supposedly dead. And this scene is ripped straight from the comics. We are seeing the exact scene from the panel onto the TV screen. We are seeing that Rexplode, he's being outnumbered, he's getting his ass beat, he is about to get beaten to death, in my honest opinion. But Invincible, he's noticing that, damn, I need to help my friend, and he is shocked that Multipal is trying to kill Rexplode. But as we are about to see Rexplode take his final breath, we now see that Duplicate, she is not dead actually. She used one of her copies so that she can not fake her death, but she can basically have the world think that she's dead while she and Mr. Immortal are together. But they eventually have to come down because, you know, they also got word that someone stole the Declaration of Independence. And when Duplicate, she now makes herself known, Multipal, he stops his assault on Rexplode and Invincible, and he basically converses with Duplicate saying, I thought you were dead. I didn't think that you were still alive. Oh God, it's great to see you. But Invincible is like, no, you're not just gonna get away from this scot-free. You need to actually answer for your crimes, because you just let Fightmaster and Dropkick run away with the Declaration of Independence. They escaped during this entire skirmish. So Invincible, he wants Multipal to be arrested. And after this, we're seeing that this show is actually so good in how they tell the story of Kid Omni-Man, because if you read the comics, Kid Omni-Man, he is a brash young child that he's basically just trying to be a superhero because his entire family are superheroes. His older brother, Mark Grayson, aka Invincible, is a superhero, and his dad is Omni-Man. So we are noticing that Kid Omni-Man, he is hiding that he actually has powers. When him and Mark Grayson, they're basically playing catch, Kid Omni-Man, he made a bet with Mark and basically telling Mark, look, if I get my powers later, then that means you owe me. And Mark is like, oh, well, that's not gonna happen anytime soon because I got my powers when I was in high school. But next thing you know, Mark is shocked to see that Kid Omni-Man is actually flying. Kid Omni-Man has been having these powers for the longest and he didn't tell anybody. So this understandably causes the mom to be mad. This causes the mom to be frustrated that Kid Omni-Man would lie like that. But Invincible, he's trying to reassure the mom that, look, you know, he has powers. He's a child. There's no way that he can just hide all of his powers forever. You know, at some point, he needs to kind of experiment with them. And at some point, you know, he does need help. So Mark and the mom now actually strike a deal that, look, if you can actually train Kid Omni-Man, if you can help him to not be reckless, if you can help Kid Omni-Man to not be so much of a threat like his dad and actually use his powers for good like you're doing, then that means we have a deal. So after we see this, we now see that Mark Grayson, he's trying to patch things up with Adam Eve. Mark, he really wants to tie the knot with Adam Eve. He wants to have a committed, serious relationship with her after the fallout with Amber. So Mark, he ventures to Adam Eve's home, but during all of this, before I continue, there are earthquakes that the heroes have been noticing, especially the Guardians of the Globe and especially Cecil. They have been monitoring all of these seismic events, but they are actually trying to see if Doc Seismic is the one behind this, but it makes no sense because Doc Seismic is currently still in jail. There is no way that Doc Seismic can telepathically conjure up all of these earthquakes, but they will soon to be mistaken because that's exactly what Doc Seismic is trying to do, and that's exactly what Doc Seismic is doing. Because when Invincible and Adam Eve, they are conversing, Invincible, he is trying to conjure up the courage to tell Adam Eve how he really feels about her, and he now basically professes his love to her. But the way that he does it is awkward because he explains why he's doing it, and the way that he explains it is because in season 2, when Invincible, he met the adult Adam Eve, the adult Adam Eve told Invincible, do not wait to profess your love to her. If you don't, you will just have her being miserable for the rest of her life, because that's exactly how I am when Mark did not tell me how much he loved me. So Invincible, he trying not to have that happen, but the way that he professes his love to Adam Eve, it comes off so wrong, it comes off so awkward that Adam Eve eventually gets frustrated. But when she gets frustrated, Invincible now gets an alert that something crazy just happened. Every single superhero on Earth has been kidnapped. They do not know how this happened, but they kind of know where the location is, and the location is under the earth. So they basically copied and pasted this entire scene from the comics onto the big screen, and I really do love that. In my honest opinion, the Invincible show really loved the source material. This is literally word for word, bar for bar, in the best way possible, and we see this entire panel from the comic book be replicated again onto the TV screen when Invincible and Adam Eve, they come down and they notice that, wow, all of the heroes are actually captured. They are all kidnapped by Doc Seismic, and Invincible's like, I'm impressed. You know, a person like Doc Seismic, a low-grade villain, is doing all of this, but Doc Seismic is proven to be a formidable opponent because Doc Seismic, he now can telepathically call for the creatures of the underground, the creatures under the earth to do his bidding. And we see the same scene from the comics be replicated. You know, in this video, you're gonna be hearing me repeat this exact same line, the same scene being replicated from the comics because Invincible and Adam Eve, they become overwhelmed by Doc Seismic's monster allies and they overpower Adam Eve and Invincible. Then Doc Seismic, he wins the battle temporarily. Then when he wins the battle, he now captures Adam Eve and Invincible alongside the heroes. But I'm gonna be repeating the same line. A scene ripped from the comics, we see Darkwing 2. He, at the behest of Cecil, he brings all of the robot guards that Cecil has alongside with him and they come to save the day. Darkwing comes and they now start to attack Doc Seismic and the robots are freeing all of the heroes. But when every single hero is freed, we see that Invincible, he is mad. He's like, no way in hell that Cecil is here. There's no way I'm going to be working alongside Cecil. So after the fight ends and Doc Seismic has been defeated, Invincible, he is mad, he is enraged. He's like, no way in hell that Cecil is here. This guy Darkwing is a murderer. Darkwing is a criminal. He should be behind bars. Why the hell is he here? And we're seeing that Mr. Immortal, the kiss ass that he is, the bootlicker that he is telling Invincible, yo, chill, calm the fuck down. These niggas just saved us. These niggas just saved our lives, man. Look, we can actually assess the matter later, but we need to get out of here. But Invincible, he's not hearing any of that. So he flies straight to Cecil's location and Darkwing notifies Cecil, but it's too late. Invincible has already reached Cecil's location and Invincible, he is confronting Cecil, screaming at him saying, who the hell do you think you are? Why do you think that you can just continue to be in my life? I don't want your help. I don't need your help. You are a sick person because you are employing these criminals. You are employing Darkwing and you are employing these same robots that basically ruined my friend's boyfriend's life. Like, what are you doing, bro? Then he was trying to get, not physical yet, but he was trying to get buck basically with Cecil. He was trying to size up Cecil, and Cecil, he was smart by doing this. He led and lured Invincible into the white room, and Cecil, he tells Invincible, look, this room is for my protection. Then Invincible asks, protection from who? Then Cecil says, protection from you. Cecil now calls the robot guards and they all surround Invincible, and like the panel from the comics, this has been ripped again. They are going word for word, bar for bar, and I'm loving every single second that I am seeing, man. This is how most adaptations should be. You gotta copy the story, man. In my honest opinion, if the story is 10 out of 10, why are you trying to change a 10 out of 10 story to fit your narrative? You got to copy it, man. And that's what this show is doing, and they're doing it perfectly because we see that Invincible, he is trying to fight off these guards. He already defeated the first wave, but then Cecil now brings a second wave, and then when Invincible is about to square up with these robots, Cecil has a device that he implanted a chip in Invincible's mind earlier in Invincible's career, and this chip is a sonic wave, and this causes Invincible to basically be hurt by the sonic sound waves in his mind. Cecil planted it deep in his skull, but we see that Invincible, he is still persevering. He's trying to fly away. He's trying to warn the Guardians of the Globe that Cecil is working with criminals. Cecil is employing criminals. We can't trust him. But as Invincible is flying, Cecil is following him, and Invincible eventually reaches the base for the Guardians of the Globe. But as he's about to warn them, we see Cecil, he reaches up with Invincible, and Cecil is trying to tell the Guardians of the Globe, this does not concern you. Look, Invincible, you have to come back with me now. The Guardians of the Globe are not buying Cecil. They're not buying what Cecil is selling. So the Guardians of the Globe now turn on Cecil and now begin to battle the robots. And as this is going on, Rexplode thought that it would be a smart idea to destroy destroy the device that Cecil is having in his hand, but that proves to be a dumb idea because now Robot tells Rexplode that, look, what you did was stupid because the only way to stop this sonic sound waves is to actually turn off the device, but since the device has exploded, this is null and void, so I will try to stop it myself. Then that eventually happens, and Invincible, he is mad, he is enraged, he wants blood, he's out for vengeance, he is destroying all of these robots. After he destroys all the robots, he grabs Cecil by the neck and he warns Cecil, you better not come back here, you better not come back to my family, and if you do, I'm gonna kill you, man. Remember, Invincible, he does not kill, but later he will explain in the next episode that he needed to say this to basically tell Cecil that he's not playing around. So after this, the episode ends, and next thing you know, the episode 2 of season 3 starts off, and man, this shit is comic accurate like a motherfucker to a T. Even Cecil's backstory, man, we see a young Cecil. He is basically new in the government. He is a new rookie in my honest opinion, so he's investigating this situation, but then we see that the investigation that he completed earlier, the criminals that he apprehended, he thought that these criminals died, but we see that the government actually revived these criminals and they are using these criminals to work for the government. And Cecil, he sees this, he is disgusted by the government's tactics on trying to rehabilitate the criminals, but Cecil's general is basically telling Cecil that, look, this is how we need to do it, man. And he says this line that Cecil will also tell Invincible. He tells Cecil that, look, you can either be a hero or you can be the one that saves the day. But like this scene, I'm gonna be repeating this same line. I've already told you this, I've already warned you this, so you're gonna have to expect me continuing repeating the same thing over and over again. But like many other scenes in this season so far, this scene is ripped straight from the comics because during an invasion in the White House, we see that these two same criminals, they are trying to protect the White House. But when Cecil sees this, Cecil gets mad because these guys are criminals, and Cecil now shoots these criminals point blank range, and this causes Cecil to be arrested. But only one deviation from the source material, because we didn't see the Guardians of the Globe confront Cecil, and we didn't see Mr. Immortal say, Cecil, old friend, what have you done? But we see that Cecil has been put in prison, and Cecil now, he is basically trying to fend off all of the prisoners in the prison, and he successfully does. He successfully brings order to the chaos that is inside the prison. So then the same general, he returns to the prison and he now offers Cecil a job, but Cecil initially declines the job because he doesn't want to work with criminals. But then we now actually jump to the future, and we're seeing as the episode is going on, the Guardians of the Globe, they are unsure with what just happened. They do not know if they want to support Cecil or they want to support Invincible. So this causes dissension amongst the ranks. This causes turmoil inside the group of the Guardians of the Globe. And many members leave the Guardians of the Globe that consisted of Rexplode, the robots, and a couple others, but some members stayed, like Mr. Immortal and Doc Samson. So this entire event that happened with Invincible and Cecil caused the Guardians of the Globe to split temporarily. And this entire show is so great, especially with Kid Omni-Man, because we are seeing that Kid Omni-Man, he really wants to start being a superhero. He is trying to sneak out of the house. He is trying to do whatever he can to use his powers. So remember that same deal that Mark Grayson and the mom had. Invincible, he is trying to not let the mom down with that deal, so he is trying his best to train Kid Omni-Man with his powers. He's trying his best to help Kid Omni-Man use his powers right and use his powers in the best way possible. So this training montage will continue throughout up until the end of the episode. But as episode 2 ended and we see the start of episode 3, we are still following the story of Kid Omni-Man. He is trying to be a superhero, but there is a twist that they copied straight from the comics that I really love, and that is Kid Omni-Man he is proven to be as ruthless as his own father, Omni-Man. Kid Omni-Man, he is showing signs that he doesn't really care about life. He doesn't really care about humans on this earth. He feels that, look, I am a superhero. This is my obligation to help you. So why not let me help you? And this is exactly the same sentiment that he sees when a jailbreak is happening and Invincible, he's trying to stop these villains. And before this, he tells Kid Omni-Man, look, you have to stay put. You can watch me fight these criminals, but do not intervene. Do not come and help me. I can handle this. So as Invincible, he is fighting these criminals, we see that Kid Omni-Man does not listen to Invincible and he flies into battle. He nearly got himself hurt. And when this happens, Invincible, he has to save Kid Omni-Man, but as he's doing this, he also stops the criminals as well, and he is scolding Kid Omni-Man, look, you can't be so brash, you can't not follow order, you have to listen to what I'm telling you. I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you not become a ruthless psychopath. And this same theme of this episode will be continued up until the end of the episode, because when episode 3 ends, we see that the Guardians of the Globe, they get overwhelmed by the Mauler twins, and the Guardians of the Globe, they nearly got killed by these twins. But Invincible, he reluctantly helps the Guardians of the Globe because he didn't want to at first, but then his mom now talked him into helping them, because his mom told Invincible, don't you help everybody. Even though you had a falling out with the Guardians of the Globe, you still have to save them. You still have to help people. So Invincible, he reluctantly now ventures onto the location where the Mauler twins have defeated the Guardians of the Globe. But as they arrive, the Mauler twins, they have a plan B. They have a missile that they are about to launch, and this missile could be catastrophic. This missile could be devastating if it's not stopped. So as they set their plan B in motion, their plan A is still to stay in this location and still defeat Invincible and Kid Omni-Man. So when this happens, Invincible tells Kid Omni-Man, look, you have to go. You have to leave, please. Look, I can handle this. After I stop the missile, I will find the Mauler twins and stop them. So as Invincible, he flies into space. He's chasing the missile. Kid Omni-Man, he stays. Kid Omni-Man, he does not want to listen to Invincible. The same theme that has been reiterated not only in episode 3, not only in episode 2, but even in episode 1. Kid Omni-Man is proven to not listen to any authority in his life, and he's proven to be stubborn. And the fact that he's stubborn is showing signs that he is just like his dad, because that's how his dad exactly was. But the Mauler twins, they think that this would be an easy cake. They think that this would be an easy win by defeating a kid. They even talk to themselves and they even say that, look, this is the first time that we're about to kill a kid, so I guess there's a first time for everything. But like the same panel that was ripped from the comics onto the TV screen, they did the exact same thing that the comics did by making Kid Omni-Man slaughter the Mauler twins. Kid Omni-Man, he destroyed them, he completely humiliated them, and he killed them in cold blood. I really love that this series, they are not shying away from using the source material. I really love that this series, they are making it comic accurate as they can possibly make it. They are basically ripping these scenes word for word, bar for bar. How many times am I gonna be repeating myself? I think this is the only time that repeating yourself is actually good. If you're repeating that something you love is being replicated in the best way possible. And that's exactly how this show is replicating these scenes, man. We're seeing that Kid Omni-Man, he is proven to have a dark side. We are seeing that the Guardians of the Globe are shocked and witnessing what just happened. They're like, whoa, a kid just did this. But when Cecil arrives, Cecil, he already knows, oh shit, Omni-Man has been reborn in Kid Omni-Man. He is noticing the same exact patterns, the same tendency to kill in cold blood. So after Invincible stops the robot, he really hates Cecil. So as soon as he lands down, he grabs Cecil by the throat and he is trying to question Cecil, what the hell are you doing here? But Cecil tells Invincible, I'm just here to clean up the mess your little brother just made. I see that apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Then Invincible turns around, notices the dead bodies, and he is mad. He is screaming at Kid Omni-Man, we don't kill in cold blood. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? I didn't teach you to do this. I didn't tell you to do this. I'm trying to teach you to do the right things. Then Kid Omni-Man is trying to tell Invincible that, look, you know, it was an accident. It was an accident, and plus they deserved it. They were about to kill the team. They were about to kill the Guardians of the Globe. Why can you kill Angstrom Levi for trying to kill us, but I can't kill? Then Invincible, as he was trying to explain that it's different, Kid Omni-Man, he attempts to fly away in tears, but Invincible catches up with Kid Omni-Man, and they did a scene that is ripped straight from the comics to end episode 3, and that is when Invincible, he is trying to tell Kid Omni-Man that, look, human lives are precious. Then Kid Omni-Man now says this, man. He says that, look, why is this so bad in killing? Why do you think that Omni-Man is wrong? Why do you think that our dad is wrong? Have you ever thought that he was right? Then Invincible, he pauses. Then he now whispers sometimes. And man, when that happened at the end of episode 3, I had the best time, if you know what I mean. I literally was punching shadows. I was shadow boxing my entire room.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Man, I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I was so ecstatic when I saw that because, man, that show was heat. This show is heat. This show is peak, in my honest opinion. This is peak animation because they respect the source material. They are not trying to shy away from the big key moments, the big key events that happened in the books. They are not even shying away from the little moments, the little events that happen in the book, man. And that's exactly how a show should be. That's exactly how an adaptation should be, in my honest opinion, man. I can't wait for the next couple of episodes that will be released for Invincible season 3. And look, I'm gonna promise you this time that after I'm done watching season 3 in the next couple of weeks, I am going to, for real, I will be for real with you guys. My right hand is on the Bible. I am going to actually watch season 1 and season 2, man. That's the end of the video. I'm out. Peace.